Huh?
So, anything else?
Yeah, we're just gonna wait for people to get on. Because, I just got the reminder myself. I'm gonna log in to my other account so I can read the comments. It's notifying viewers that we're live.
What?
Notifying viewers that we're live. Very
Just knock it off. Go lay down.
Hey, cat lady, how are you? Marie's here. I don't know if you remember her.
No.
You don't? That's fine. I know you don't.
Horrible.
You're not horrible. You're just, brain injury. Memory shot. So. Hey, Cassie. How's everybody doing tonight? What is everybody doing tonight? We're about to share a hell of a story with you guys. Oh, hey, Sally. Oh. Nuclear baby. Are we going to have a nuclear baby? Neither do I. I'm waiting to find out. It's so awkward waiting for everybody to sleeping. It's always so awkward waiting for everybody to show up for the live. Alright, we got like 10 people in here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We think she's pretty cute too. I'm about to go get her. Hey, I love Baby Bear. Kim Marie says you don't have to remember me, Lance. It's okay.
Sorry.
Is Squizgar here now?
Yes, he's right behind you.
Uh-oh. So,
Hanging out.
I guess to start, does anybody have any questions to start? I don't know if they can hear me. Can you repeat
Probably
that?
not. What?
Can you repeat that? Ask them if they have any questions about this topic to start
I
off.
guess, does anybody have any questions about this topic we're going to discuss tonight?
A lot of you have been invested. Some of you guys might be new to this, so. Hey, Tracy, how are you? Can I bring you the baby?
Bring who the baby?
Cassie.
That's the question.
Yes.
Can we bring her the baby?
Yes, that's the question.
No.
I mean, well,
You
I
have to come here for the baby.
I know. I kind of want to say yes, though, because we can sleep. We're like, here's the baby. I'm going tonight.
Why couldn't you can't sleep?
It's hard to sleep with a baby up on there. Just toss her off to Cassie.
Whose baby is up all night?
Yeah, no, you're right.
What am I missing here? Clearly, it's none of ours.
Oh no, keep her. I'm too tired. So. Alright, I guess we'll start off on this story. We got 11 of you guys in here. So we'll get this started off. And if we get more people, we do. If we don't, we don't. So. Oh god, we've been together 10 years in October. So we moved in here together, what, 7 years ago? 7, 8 years ago? So we moved into a home that my parents owned around 7 or 8 years ago. We moved in here after my brother and sister-in-law had lived here, and the house was just in
Bad shape.
it was in bad shape. Like, we had to rip out the whole first floor bathroom. We had to re-drywall and rip down a whole room right off the bat, and
The bathroom was the worst because of the mold and because of
yeah, it was terrible.
the leaking pipes.
Right. So
It had to be done.
So when we moved in here, right out of the gate, we sank, like, didn't we do like $1,000 right out the gate? I think it was $1,000. Right out the gate, first month living here, $1,000 right out of the gate, plus rent. So this kept happening. The longer we lived here, the more repairs that we had to do. Oh, this is Quisgar, by the way. The longer we lived here, the more repairs were showing up, the more problems we were having. We went through 3 sets of washer and dryers because of the electrical panel. We're on our
on the
third.
third one.
We're on our 3rd set of washer and dryer. We're on our 3rd dishwasher.
Red one, and the white one, the third dishwasher. Right?
3rd dishwasher because it blew. I think we're on the 3rd of everything. The panel blew all of it at once. So we're on our 3rd stove, 3rd fridge, 3rd microwave, 3rd dishwasher, and 3rd
Second
set.
freezer. And
Yep.
Second refrigerator.
2nd freezer and 2nd refrigerator. So
And
that's,
second microwave.
yeah. So the electrical panel downstairs was blowing all of our appliances frequently. And it was just becoming a real problem. So the basement was leaking. It still leaks. So we decided to approach my, I guess we'll call him adopted dad for that. We decided to approach my adopted dad with the idea of, well, we're not going to pay you rent because we're constantly having to sink so much money into the house. And we thought that was fair. He wanted $900 a month for rent. We were easily paying more than that in repairs and appliances easily every month. And sometimes there would be issues that would happen that would cost us a few $1,000s. So the entire time we're living here, we're not paying rent because we are paying to fix and maintain the house and fix things, take care of things, deal with a whole bunch of other mess and shit that comes along with it. So, fast forward to not last summer, the summer before. Not this past summer, the summer before. We started the process in May, I think. May to start purchasing the house, and we went through, checked with a couple different companies and got approved ultimately through Rocket because we didn't have, Lance coming out of a divorce, me not working everything, we didn't have the best credit. So we went with Rocket because it was one of the few places that would approve us. So we went through Rocket Mortgage, we get everything going, we get everything set up. And my adopted dad does literally nothing.
Yes, we got all approved for it. We were going to do an FHA loan, and they sent really an inspector or an appraiser, but whatever, for the mortgage company to come and make sure that the property met certain requirements to be eligible for this FHA mortgage. So, of course, it wasn't. So, I explained to him that, hey, all this stuff needs to be done, for FHA, fantastic, 3-point-something percent
really
interest
good.
rate, super low. The mortgage payment was going to be less than what we were paying for rent. So all in all, it was a good deal. So we go through that whole process, and they say, these things need to be fixed. So I say, okay, I tell him, these are the things that need to be done in order for us to be approved for the FHA.
Go to bed.
So he more or less just kind of, shrugs it off, and does nothing. So they come back again, and none of the things they've done, because we can't afford to do it. By ourselves. So they come back and they say, oh, well, none of the stuff was done. We can't do that, so let's look at a conventional. So they redid their, they said, okay, well, the house in the condition it's in right now meets the requirements for a conventional mortgage, and it only went up to 4%, 4.25, something like that, a percent. By going from FHA to conventional mortgage. There were a couple of things that needed to be fixed, like the breaker panel needed to be replaced in the basement. Complete replacement of the railings around the patio and porch. the deck.
Which we had everything for already. We had paid
just
for
hadn't put
everything.
it up,
Yeah,
right.
we had paid for it all
And
already.
then they wanted all of his stuff cleaned out of the basement.
Now, we were ready to pay for the replacement of the electrical box, and obviously we had already paid for the replacement of like the decking that we needed to do. The only thing he had to do was get his
Oh,
stuff
and out of the yard too.
yeah, get his stuff
All
out
his
of the
stuff
yard
out of the yard
and out of the basement. That was all he had to do. And we had a dumpster here for him.
We had multiple dumpsters.
Yes.
So we start that process, and that goes on for
We already run one mortgage out, yes?
no. During this is when the first one.
Okay.
So we have all this. We have a set time it's got to be done by before the locked-in rate expires. So we had a dumpster start. He starts coming over here doing little things here and there, not really doing anything he needs to do. While I'm replacing all the railing on the deck, putting railings on the stairs, all this stuff that needs to be done, I'm taking care of it. He's just kind of milling around the yard and in and out of the basement, not really doing anything. He takes like 3 or 4 things with him every once in a while. Long story short, the time for the lock-in rate expires, and we have to reapply for the mortgage again. So here comes another hit to our credit.
Mortgage number 2.
Now our credit score is on its way down, both of us. So
Which, by the way, we spent the prior 2 to 3 years here
building it
focusing
back up.
solely on building our
Yeah.
credit so we could buy the
Buy the
house.
So we reapply, we take a hit again, and now they say that the rear patio off the back of the house is a safety hazard, and the stairs out there need a railing. All this other stuff needs to be done.
Like a ton
Still
of
the
stuff.
breaker panel, which we had bought all the stuff for. I was kind of just trying to get him to pay to have somebody replace it.
You were trying to get somebody. He were trying to get him to pay for the labor.
Basically just to pay for the labor, because we paid for all the parts of it. So another couple months goes by or whatever. He's still not doing what he's supposed to do,
Which
I've
is
now
still clean the basement and the
in
yard.
the backyard, right? At one point, he had a trailer here, like a car trailer, and a buddy of mine and I took it upon ourselves to pick up as much of the stuff as we could and fill the trailer up and tell him he had to take it out of there. So we did the majority of the work for him. And then for some reason he had in his mind that he would take it out of here until we bought the house and then it was coming right back. No. No. So anyway, time goes on with this second mortgage. I keep getting extensions. Like I said, I finished the railing on the front porch, and now I'm focusing on the back patio, which is a raised patio. It's probably like 3 feet from the ground.
No, it was over my head, in parts, because the
Oh, over on the driveway.
Over on the driveway
Where it's
because
in the
it's
yard.
pitched,
It's
yeah.
only like, yeah.
yeah.
So I can't afford to. So basically, the reason it was considered a safety issue is because it was concrete, and then it had dirt on top of it, and then it had slate on top of it, and pieces were missing and broken, and there were sharp hazards, and it needed a whole new railing as well as railings on the staircase from there. So I just rented a machine and ripped the thing off the house.
Because it was going to cost about $10,000
Yeah.
to replace
to
a patio.
replace all the slate and everything.
Yeah, that we
So-
didn't want anyway. We didn't
Right,
want
we
this
don't want
thing,
the thing anyway.
anyway.
So I get a machine and I pull it off the house.
The best you
whatever,
can.
The best I can. And so now in the backyard I had a pile of dirt and a pile of broken up concrete and slate and stuff. Not all strewn around in
piles.
places. So I figured, okay, that should be good. Oh, excuse me, sorry. And then the only thing I didn't do was pull the stairs off. So they're precast stairs set on a concrete slab at the ground to make up that bottom step. So I didn't pull those off. So we're going through this. I'm doing it. We've had another dumpster at this point where us getting rid of our stuff has now filled the 2 dumpsters more than any of the shit he's put in there. The first dumpster we got, I think he put a dresser in the basement in there, and maybe a handful of other, almost nothing.
And now, mind you, we have constantly and consistently are having to go through and purge our stuff because
we have nowhere to put
we
it.
don't have any place to put it.
Because it's all taken up by his stuff. Even if it wasn't, we don't want to put our stuff in the basement until the leak gets fixed. Which, that's a whole nother, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get to that shortly.
Once we get to that. So that's coming up. So
hey, Kiki.
We go through this, we get the second dumpster, we fill that thing up, we get rid of a lot more of our stuff.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Stuff we wanted to keep and should have been able
Right.
to keep.
So then the stuff's outside. Then they come back and they inspect again and say that a pile of dirt and concrete is now a problem and that has to get out of here. Because that's a safety issue also. So I pay somebody to come and haul it all out of here. And pull the stairs away from the deck and surround them with a chain link fence so that no one can use them.
Hey, Rachel.
So we've basically, and then I went out and I hired an electrician. I asked actually somebody I knew if they would come and inspect it for me, because initially it needed to be replaced. Then it was, well, just reattach it to the wall, because the piece of plywood that it was attached to, one of the nails had come out or something, so it was hanging a little cockeyed. So then it was, all right, just reattach it to the wall. So I did that, and then they said, well, now we want to, after that's done, we want it to be inspected by a certified electrician. Okay, so I sent feelers out on Facebook for anyone who could help me out with a suggestion of a good electrician, whatever. So through people I've known through my life and have done favors for in the past, one of them is an electrician. He messaged me and he was like, hey, whenever you're available, let me know. I got no problem. I'll swing by your house and inspect your panel for you and sign off and whatever. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. So he comes over and he looks at this thing and he takes the cover off. And at this point, I've now learned that the breaker panel that was down there is not the original breaker panel of the house. Apparently, it used to be a fuse panel. For some people who aren't old enough to know what that is, before breakers were in a house, you had fuses that actually screwed in a box. And that's why sometimes you'll hear older people call them a fuse panel instead of a breaker panel. That's what it used to be. So at some point in time, the fuse panel was taken out and the breaker panel was put in, and whoever put it in, which I'm under the assumption with a little bit of added information that stepfather, adopted father, whatever, had his hands involved in that.
He did it.
Oh, he did do it.
Yes.
He did the whole thing. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm sure there's probably not, I mean, there may be somebody on here that knows a little bit about home electronics or home electrics, like breaker panels, things like that. You're not supposed to have wire nuts and things like that inside breaker panels. Now, that's pretty much all this breaker panel was. So my friend comes over here and he says, yeah, I can't sign off on this. And like I said, once he pulled the cover off and I saw it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I wouldn't want you to anyway. That's putting your license at risk. Like, I completely understand. So then I said to him, I said, well, what's the likelihood of, can you get that call that just came out?
Yeah,
Good?
I'll get it.
Okay. What's the likelihood of this being something you could replace? And he said, well, as far as like hands-on work, I'm pretty much retired, but my son does it. And I can have him come and he can do the labor, but he's not an E1 or whatever it is that you have to be in order to sign off on things. He's like, he can do the labor and then I'll come back and write the letter and sign off for you. And I said, oh, okay. So I have all the stuff I need. I have brand new circuit board or breaker panel. I've got all the breakers to replace because on top of it being bad, when he took the cover off, you could see that water had been getting into the breaker panel. So the terminals where the wires connect to the breakers were actually rusted. So I had his son come and do it. You know, he took a day. He said, yeah, I should be able to do it in a day's time. He came in here, he cut it out, the old one and everything, put the whole new thing in with all the new breakers.
Oh, but tell them the terrifying part about it.
Which part?
About how it started sparking.
Oh, yeah, so before he got here to do it, that's right, I did leave that out.
Yeah.
Before he got here to do it, I went downstairs for something. I don't even remember what laundry or get something out of the freezer. I don't know. And I hear this like buzzing, like arcing, like electrical arcing noise. And I'm like, what in the hell is that noise? And I'm looking around the basement, and I go over to the breaker panel, and it's smoking.
Yes, the breaker panel could have burned this house down.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
And the reason that everything kept blowing was probably because of that.
Whatever that was arcing.
Right. So those times...
Long story short, the whole arcing breaker panel is what got him to come here sooner than later. Because originally he was like, oh, you know, I've got other jobs, I'm a couple weeks out, whatever. And I'm like, I get that, but this thing is arcing, and when it rains, water pours out the bottom of it. So he came a week sooner and replaced everything for us. His dad, my buddy, then signed off on it. I sent the letter to the mortgage company, said, hey, this has been done, signed off. The clutter in the front yard's been cleaned up, the railing's been put around the deck.
The clutter, by the way, is the materials that we had for renovating the house.
Yeah, the plywood and stud, 2x4 studs, things like that. The person deemed that as clutter. I'm like, how do you deem that as clutter? That's what I'm using to fix the things in the house that need to be, well, they just didn't like the fact that it was in the front yard, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, Mama Miles says my house burned down when I was 17 due to electric. We don't know how the house didn't burn down. We have no idea how the house did not burn to the ground. We can't answer that for you. Like, we don't know.
Now we're pretty comfortable with the condition the electronics are in the house. He also looked over the other wiring and junction boxes and things like that, where the wires, they run from the breaker panel to below a bedroom or whatever, and then they hit a box, and then that goes to the outlet. And he checked all that stuff, said everything's grounded like it should be, and everything looks good. So going forward, we don't really have anything to worry about electrical wise. So we've now done this. The basement still leaks. He has still not done anything about the basement. His interpretation of get your stuff out of the basement was to pull everything away from the wall so that we could see where it was leaking from easier. And I'm like, okay, so you pulled it away from the wall, now get it out of here.
Because the deal was the basement had to be completely empty because we had to pay $2,000? $2,400? The full home inspection.
No.
That guy,
much.
I don't know how much was it for that guy to come in.
It was less than $1,000.
Oh, it was less than $1,000?
Yeah.
Okay, oh no, the first people you were looking at were really expensive.
The guy we got to come was not that expensive.
But yeah, we had to
under
have
$1,000 for the full home inspection, which I'm glad that I got from my knowledge and not the mortgage company, because the things he found in this house are, oh my God.
Cassie, that's what we're getting to. We've been kind of, it's our property now, throw it away. We have been kind of building up to that, but we've been, and I mean, you know this better than anybody, we've been kind of navigating the mental and emotional seas of things with my bio dad, and that's been a focus. But we're coming up on nicer weather, and we decided that nicer weather. We're gonna hopefully be able to save to get a dumpster. And we're gonna tell him the dumpster's coming. Like, we'll give him a month's notice. The dumpster's coming this day, this month, and you either come here and do it, or we're doing it for you. And that's how it's gonna go. We're at least gonna give him until it's nicer weather out and it's not so cold out. But that's where we're at with his stuff. I mean, we have a friend that is willing to tow all of his shit off our property and just put it in his front yard. Like, he's willing to just tow it all over there because there's 4 jet skis, 3, 4. I don't know.
There's probably 4 jet skis. There's a small enclosed trailer, 2 boats with trailers, 1 without. So 3 boats, 2 on trailers, 1 without. I can't even tell you how many lawn tractors are out there.
Yeah, just crap. It's just shit.
Just junk that
Just
no
shit.
one needs.
And the basement is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 5-gallon bucket of keys downstairs. A 5-gallon bucket of keys. Don't know why, but it was a 5-gallon.
He took that.
I don't
Couldn't
think
take anything else.
No, but
he took that probably.
Oh yeah, he left it all here because the deal was that he was selling us the house for so cheap so he could keep his shit here. And
guess what? That's not in writing, so that's not happening.
yeah, well, we also didn't get the house for what we discussed. It did not go the way we haven't gotten there. But I mean, this just keeps getting better, guys. So just hang in there.
So all the stuff that was supposed to be done that I could afford to get
Miranda.
done, we got done.
Yeah.
So then it comes up on him again. We lost 2, and the third one's the final one was that, right?
No, we actually lost 3, and it was
And
a
the
fourth
fourth
one
one, okay.
because we skipped
So-
one. We skipped one where we skipped one of the ones where we got to closing because that happened before these last 2.
So yes, so that's the one I'm about to talk about right now.
Yeah, that actually
So,
happened prior to
I got
us.
all this stuff done, and everybody's happy. Bank-wise, homeowners insurance, the whole shebang. We're ready to close. Lawyers, the whole thing.
Thank you, April. April said dumpster party. Let me know when. Thank you.
So we set a closing date. They go to said closing date. Their parents go to said closing date. Supposed to sign all the paperwork and everything. I get a phone call from my lawyer. Says, "Hey, they're here, but they don't want to sign." I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" Says, "Yeah, he doesn't want to sign because if he does, there's money that he owes on a second mortgage on that house that he says he knows nothing about." Long story short, we got all the way to closing, sitting in the lawyer's office, and they backed out. So there we go, we lost that mortgage. So that's 2 now.
Yep, because he said his big plan was take the money for escrow. They told him you could put the money in escrow. And he said, okay, take it out of the sale of the house. And they were like,
Yeah, no, we have to have it up front.
and they were like, no, we can't sell the house until this is cleared or the money's in escrow. And he literally could not comprehend for the fucking life of him. I don't know. This aggravates the shit out of me. He could not comprehend for the life of him why he could not take money out of the sale of the house to put in escrow for the $25,000 second mortgage that he took out on the house. Like, he did not comprehend it. And the other thing that he did to us this entire time was he kept trying to push us to find a lawyer that would go along with selling us this house illegally because he did not want to pay capital gains on the house. So
that was the other part of why he backed out of.
Yeah, it was capital gains.
That was because he was set to make capital gains because he was selling us the house cheaper than what he paid for it. Some
crazy shit.
Like that. So he was going to make money and then he would have to pay taxes.
And he wanted a lawyer that was going to fudge the paperwork and so he didn't have to pay capital gains. He literally wanted us to commit crimes to buy this house.
So again, people I know, the lawyer we used is a friend of mine, someone I know. So I'm like, no, I'm staying with the lawyer we chose. He's doing things by the book. This is the way it's going to be.
No. We're not going to jail for buying your shitty
Right.
ass house.
Right. So that's 2 mortgages down now. So the 3rd and 4th kind of happened like at the same time.
Yeah.
Just the problem was is that there were rate changes for the interest within there
Right.
that weren't, I mean, they were disclosed, but if we had closed sooner rather than later, they would have been lower.
Now, mind you, we started all of this off with like 3% interest rate, and we were looking at $600 a month mortgage. That's what we were looking at to begin with.
And that was that $600. That's the mortgage, the taxes,
And the homeowners.
insurance.
That's what we were looking at initially for the purchase of this house.
So, then you have all the nonsense with who knows what, with rates going high, insurance goes up, all this stuff changes. So the old rates are no longer any good.
Right.
So then you run into the issue of your homeowner's insurance rate is also a lock-in situation that only lasts for a certain period of time.
Thanks for the cat paws, Miranda. Thank you.
So, we let some time go by, and then
Thank you for the gifts,
told
Miranda.
that, we basically got the mortgage company back on with, all right, what do we have to do exactly to make this happen? And I worked with them, tried to use the lawyers to force his hand to make him make a decision. Long story short, we had one, so
It was
the
one
third-
that rolled into
the
another.
3rd and 4th mortgages sort of coincided with each other, so that the 3rd one ran out, and then we thought it was an extension, but instead of an extension, it just turned into a fourth mortgage application. So
Be
Long
really
story-
careful with that fine print, guys. Like
Yeah.
when I told you that we were going to discuss some of the mistakes we made, this is a big one. Really ask questions.
So, like she said, when we started, we had a 3-point-something% interest rate. When we finally got it all finished and got him to sign the paperwork, we're now paying almost 7% interest
Yep.
in
And
18 months' time.
then not to mention,
And the homeowner's insurance is almost double a year than what it was when we started.
yep. And not to mention, again, this time, he did nothing
Nope.
about the second mortgage. He did no research. He didn't
Nope.
track anything
So
down.
it almost didn't happen again.
So it almost didn't. It
He
almost
tried
didn't
to
happen
play
again.
that I knew nothing about this. And it's like, yes, you did. You knew all about this 2 mortgages ago, or 2 attempts ago. Did you think it was just going to disappear? No, it's still there. You still have to figure it out.
Yeah. So he ran us out of money and
Oh, yeah. So,
ran our
yeah.
credit into
We had-
the dirt.
Yeah, we had our credit up
700s.
in the low 700, middle to low 700s, and I had almost $40,000 in savings
to renovate
to renovate the house and
And-
the first year's mortgage saved.
for.
So we weren't having to friggin' like
well, if there was an emergency,
right,
anything
do,
like
paycheck
that.
to paycheck kind of thing to pay the mortgage. So, long story short, it cost us almost 40 grand just to make the house buyable, of which he didn't pay any of that.
Not a dime.
So now we have paid the price he wanted, which he tried to up
Yeah.
a couple of times, and I told him, no, this is what we're paying and that's it. And then we paid almost another 40 on top of that
Because he wanted his back rent.
because he wanted back rent all of a sudden that originally we weren't paying because we were paying to fix the house.
So not only did we have to pay to fix the house the entire time we lived here, we wound up paying him money for back rent for all that time that we lived
And
here.
all the repairs needed to be made just to buy the house.
So-
to make it financeable by a mortgage company.
So
willing to take on that note.
Right. So we're out the $40,000 just to make this house viable. Another $30,000 that he got in back rent, and then our closing costs were the highest our lawyer has ever seen in his entire career, at a whopping $11,000 because of how many times we had to have an appraiser come out here.
Yep.
And we had to foot the bill for all of it.
And we had to pay the closing costs, which originally we weren't going to pay any of the closing costs.
So he didn't have to pay to sell this house, didn't have to do any repairs to sell this house, nothing. He made $30,000 in the process, and we had to pay all of our closing costs. So my adopted dad, my stepdad, cost us a grand whopping total of $80,000 extra to buy this house. $10,000 short of what we had agreed to pay. So we basically bought this house twice already. And our mortgage is sky high. It's absolutely sky high.
And now here we are in the exact position I didn't want to be in, scrounging money to make the mortgage payment and pay the other bills.
Yep. And this is why I said this is our home buying horror story. If you're going to purchase property from family, you need to make sure...
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Honestly, don't do it. Or you need to make sure you can really, honest to God, trust that family. And, I mean, we should have known when I got the fucking DNA test back, like, a million red flags. Like, don't do it. You cannot trust them, like, to do the right thing. It should have been a dead giveaway then. But instead, we, I guess, gave them the benefit of the doubt, which is on us. We should have never done that. We should have done more research with mortgage companies. We should have paid much, much, much closer attention to fine print, wording, exactly what they were doing. There were a lot of things that we could have done better, but it's... what he did to us is horrible. And I don't think he has a single bit of remorse for us. I mean, he told us that he would, after the sale of the house, he would give us money to help with repairs and things like that, and we haven't seen anything.
Nothing.
Like, our toilet's ready to go through the floor.
Literally ready to fall.
Like, literally, it's ready to fall through the floor. Like, it's not a joke. Like, it's ready to fall through the floor. We have a leak in our foundation. Our floors are still covered in these alphabet floor tiles because our floors are splintered and it's not safe for the kids. He still hasn't cleaned the backyard out, so the kids don't have a backyard to play in. Their playscape is still in the front yard.
Because we have nowhere to put it.
Because we have nowhere to put it. And this is just... do not buy property from family unless you can trust them, or unless you're ready to lose.
Unless you're ready to pay a lawyer to really go through. Because that's probably the other part that got us. We didn't have the money for a lawyer where we could say, hey, here's everything we need. Can you go over this and make sure we're not getting screwed?
Right. So
I wish I had the money to pay somebody that deals with stuff like this all day, every day.
Right.
That could have been like, hey, he's trying to do this to you. You need, catch this, catch that, I don't know. I just feel like he took super advantage of us.
He did. 100%.
It's just yet another reason I don't like this man.
He did take very super advantage of us. It's terrible what he did. So, does anybody have any questions after hearing all that? Please, questions, comments, anything. We're very open about this.
We have thought about, and going back here a bit, about doing the refinancing thing, but the rates have to come down, and we have to have money to be able to afford to refinance, because it's, from what I understand, it's not like it's a free thing to do. There's still going to be costs associated with that.
Yeah. But yeah, we sold this house to ourselves. Like, we honestly sold. He did nothing. He wouldn't make phone calls that he needed to make. He wouldn't communicate with our mortgage company. Then towards the end of this last time, he told us if Rocket didn't get their shit together, he was canceling the sale of the house because he didn't like our mortgage company,
Right.
which was the only one we could get approved through. So he started doing this thing where, okay, I'm just going to say it really bluntly and crudely, but he does this thing where I say he swings his dick around and comes in and tries to take total control of situations by getting...
And really, it just turns into a total ass.
Yeah, no, he just gets big and loud and kind of puffs his chest out and, I don't like your mortgage company, so if they don't get their shit together, the sale of the house is off. Well, buddy, if the sale of the house is off, like, we're taking you to court. Like, we are taking you, we will sue the ever-living shit out of you somehow because we sank 40 grand into this house and you tanked our credit scores to the point that we had no choice but to buy this house.
We couldn't afford to go anywhere else or do anything else because all the money we had was now gone.
Yeah. So, it's really fucked up situation. But it is what it is. I mean, we're doing the best that we can. It sucks. It's really stressful. It's really hard. But that's all we're doing is the best we can, and we're just going to try to make it through to be able to refinance and I guess fix things. Like you guys just saw us, we renovated the kitchen, but really all we did was get some free cabinets and move some stuff around from what we already had. It didn't cost us anything to do it, but that's where we're at. That's how we have to renovate our home now. We have to use things that we have here or quick fixes or patches or things like that until we're able to refinance. And I think you said you wanted to, or can you take another loan on your 401? You can't.
No, because the market is so volatile right now that it keeps going up and down. It's not safe to do.
Yeah. So, and I know you don't want to sell
That's the
anymore.
lovely thing about 401ks.
Yeah, and I know you said you didn't want to sell any more stocks for emergency. His job gives him really good benefits, so I know you didn't want to do any of that unless it was an emergency. Like, we literally cannot pay any portion of the mortgage. So, or if, like, God forbid some fucking major thing happens. Yeah, like right now. But, like, God forbid some major thing happens, so...
2 months.
Oh, thank you, Miranda. So, yeah, no, we got, April, I have your stuff. Oh my god, you forgot to get it last night. Totally did. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're doing the best we can. We've made it 2 months. No, we're really struggling, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. And we're working on getting things repaired. We're getting what we can for free off local buy nothing pages, or what we can at really deeply discounted prices on local marketplace pages. We intend on going to the Restore, Habitat for Humanity store, just any place that we can to get things to repair the house the best we can, and that's the mission we're on. We're not going to be able to renovate it right now to be the house that we want it to be, which is what
the original plan was to buy the house and use a portion of that 40 grand to hire somebody and say, this is what I want done, and then I can go to work every day and you can do whatever with the kids all day, and at the end of a month or 2 or 3 months, all the shit we wanted done is done.
Yep, and it was going to be what we wanted. It was going to be the flooring we wanted, the paint we wanted, it was going to be everything we wanted. And now we're at the point where we're like, okay, so it's not going to be what we want. It's going to be what we can get. And eventually we will get to the point where we can afford to save and get what we want. So it's just, we have to use what we can get our hands on like the local pages and restores and stuff like that, until we can get to a good place where we've refinanced, our credit's better, so maybe we can finance certain things. But it's going to be a long fucking road. It was a long road to get here, and it's going to be a long road to get to recover from this. But like really the biggest takeaway I have for you guys is really ask a lot of questions. There are never too many questions to ask a mortgage company, ask a lawyer. Yep, we're doing the best we can, April. Our dining room is all paneling and it's shit. It's awful. And I hate the way it looks. And that's where I spend a lot of my me time is out there. So I went and got 2 paint samples because it's mostly windows out there. And I started painting the dining room to be something that I like. So it's not re-drywalled. It's not, redone. It's not re-insulated. It's not perfect, but it's better. And it makes me feel better. Like, when we redid the kitchen, it's contact paper. Like, that 90% of the kitchen is contact. Those countertops, contact paper. That, like, really pretty concrete looking stuff on my wall, that's contact paper. That was under $300 to do that kitchen out there. Just to do what I did to it, so I felt better about it. That's how we've been doing things. The flooring in the kitchen. I think I have this idea that I want dark hardwood flooring through the whole house. So in the dining room, I'm scrubbing the shit out of the floor and getting it clean, and then I'm gonna paint it the dark color that matches that wood flooring to see, hey, is it something that I do want? And we're not gonna waste thousands of dollars on this dark ass hardwood floor and hate it, but it's all things that we can do now with stuff we have here to make the house a little bit better. I guess to keep our spirits up, because this was we didn't talk about this for so long and didn't come out and tell you guys about the purchase of the house until now, because we were really depressed about it. It was what was supposed to be something that was really happy for us and something to celebrate wasn't. Like, we had this dream of coming home and taking a picture of us in front of the door with the keys and all this really corny, like, first time home buyer shit, and we signed the paperwork and got in the car and literally just looked at each other and we were like, I guess we own a house now. You're off the screen.
Pretty much. That was it.
But it was like, I guess we own a house. That's where we're at.
It's kind of when you're sitting there and pushing over.
Sorry. Space taker up there. But, yeah, it was actually... What should have been a really happy day was fucking depressing, and we just came home and sat here.
Yep.
We didn't go have like a celebratory dinner or...
Nope.
We came home and sat here.
Day,
yeah.
which sucked.
Yep.
You would think that finally owning your own house is something to be happy and excited about.
Be proud of.
Yeah. That's what everybody strives to do in their life, and then here we are, we're like, yep, we did it, now what?
Yep.
Let's go home.
That's where we're at. Like, now what do we do? And we were just making the best of it day by day. That's really all we can do. It's all we can do. I mean, we have a very happy life. We really do. We have a very, very happy life. It takes a lot to get us out. I mean, we have 3 wonderful kids. We have a great, solid marriage built on a friendship. But this was rough. This was rough. We've been through some tough shit and come out the other side. So I know we'll do it this time too. But this was rough because
it was very far from what we thought.
That, and I was dealing with the stress, and I mean, you were too, because when I'm going through it and you can't fix it, it's tough. I was dealing with the stress of finding out that they had lied to me. So I'm dealing with just a constant, what I feel like is a constant betrayal from him. Like, you lie to me about being my dad, then you're dragging your feet on all this shit with the house, you're taking advantage of us, like, you're getting everything you want and more,
Right.
and we're just sitting here, like, literally just getting railed Like,
Every turn.
at least take us out to dinner first. At least take us out to dinner before you're gonna fuck us. That's where I'm at with it. And I honestly, I know there's probably some family member in here watching this live right now. I know there probably is. And this shit's gonna get back to him. I'm not stupid. But I play nice with him because I feel like if I don't, I won't get to see my mom. Because he's the one that drives her everywhere and shit like that. So I feel like if I don't play nice with him, I won't get to see my mom. So I am preparing for when springtime hits to... That potentially could be the end of everything. So...
Very difficult for me because I just don't care.
Yeah.
About him. I care about her mother a lot.
Deeply.
I mean, I really do.
Yeah.
And I know that it would destroy her not to be able to come over here and see her grandbabies.
Yeah,
absolutely. I know that would be huge. The shitty part is, he knows that too, and he'll take advantage of it.
100%.
Because he thinks he's punishing us, and really all he's doing is hurting her. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
But I have no need for that man, no respect for that man, for all the things he's done to you throughout your life. The lying, the way you've been treated. I mean, obviously it all makes sense now.
Yeah. But then
still,
it didn't.
at the time.
Well, yeah, because you watched a lot of it happen.
And then to see that the way he acted and treated both of us through the whole sale of the house, and it's just...
He treated us like we were
she said,
fucking stupid.
We have to be civil to him because we know her mother's the one who's going to pay the price.
Yeah. And that, unfortunately, is his...
It's horrible, to be honest with you.
Yeah, his stuff is far more important, I swear to him, than anything in the world. Because if it wasn't, he would have just started hauling the shit out of here and putting it in a dumpster. But he has to literally, go through and fucking touch every single thing. Now, I grew up in that house. I grew up seeing that shit happen and those hoarding tendencies and everything going on. So I started to develop those problems. And when I realized what I was doing, I was like, yeah, no, fuck this. And
He did it the whole time you guys lived here.
He did it when we lived in Long Island.
Well, I'm speaking of
Connecticut
part.
He did it.
So he did it the whole time you lived here, and then he ran out of room and had to go buy a whole other fucking house, and then proceeded to fill that whole basement and a 2-car fucking garage up.
Yep. And parts of the backyard. He's got those pop-up tents and shit
Parts
back there.
of the backyard, the whole...
Well, the whole
yard looks
driveway.
like this. Yeah. His whole yard is like this.
It's just crap.
Yeah.
So, and the real shit thing about this is that now that we own the house, Miranda, the kids are really good. Thank you for asking. Now that we own the house, if the town decides to come through here and says, there's boats on this property. Oh, there's tractors on this property. There's jet skis on this property. Oh, and this property is next to water and marsh. If they come here and test the ground soil and anything's wrong with it, we're fucked because of his stuff sitting on it. And it's all his shit. But because we own the house now, it's now our shit to take care of and have to deal with. So now we have the problem of how do we get all of this other stuff out of here? And we're going to have to again fork over the money and foot the bill to get this stuff out of here. And it's just wrong. It's not right, and he's taken full advantage.
Dump truck.
I know.
Put all that stuff in it and dump it at the end of his driveway.
I don't
all the
blame
jet
you.
skis, all the lawn tractors, and just dump it all at the end of his driveway.
Yeah. So
like, this is your problem. This is your stuff. Because I'll tell you what, all this stuff that's here, we can't just get rid of it.
No.
Places charge to get rid of those things.
Didn't we have to
Get
pay?
rid of boats.
Didn't we have to pay? We paid to get rid of the camper, didn't
No,
we?
he paid.
Oh, he did? Okay, Jesus. But we had to tow it out of there.
We had to tow it there.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying. If you
No.
can't the days of taking things to the scrapyard and junkyard and just getting rid of them, you can't do that anymore because stuff has oil in it, or it has gas, or it has Freon, or it has this, that, and the other goddamn
Someone
thing.
says since it's legally yours now, put it all on free cycle. I don't know what that is, but we'll have to look into that.
It's basically another type of free gauge.
Oh, is it? Nobody wants this stuff. It's
No,
garbage.
He doesn't even want this
No,
fucking stuff.
it's fucking garbage. He's got 3 boats here that he was going to Frankenstein together. 4 jet skis he was going to Frankenstein together. Upteam
One of the
lawn
boats
tractors.
he's left on the neighbor's,
Neighbor's
property.
property. The poor neighbor whose son... he was going to sell this broken down ass boat to my neighbor's elderly son who was dying of fucking cancer. He took money from this man. He took money from the... knowing
And-
full fucking well
Yeah.
this dude couldn't do
Right.
anything about it.
And this is a man that can lay down at night and put his head on his pillow and sleep soundly knowing he's doing shady shit like
That's so sweet, Miranda. You don't have to... Rory is in a 5T and Finn is headed into a 6. So like a small. And the baby is probably going into 0 to 3. So... But, yeah, it's been a shit show. Now, does anybody have any questions? Questions, comments, anything? Yes, he does. He lives right in Westbrook. Literally, maybe 10 minutes. Maybe not even 10 minutes. Yeah, he lives very close by. So it's not like he's got to travel to get here. And not for nothing, he drives by this house
that. Numerous times.
times a day. Numerous times a day he drives by this house because he's not taking care of things at his house. By the way, his ceiling is completely covered in mold. It's awful.
Which we don't even want to know what the attic space above that looks
I don't even want to think about that. So he's not taking care of his house that he lives in. He's not taking care of this house, but he's going and volunteering literally all his time at the American Legion, which great, volunteer for a good cause by all means. But his main goal is to keep up appearances down at his volunteering place and have everybody think that he's this honorable, wonderful, great, magnificent person because he volunteers all his time for this cause. Meanwhile, his home is falling into disrepair. He leaves my mom there all the time and she constantly falls and gets hurt.
And is always reluctant to tell us.
Yeah, never wants to tell us. And yeah, he's just too busy worrying about what everybody else thinks about him. So when this gets out, if this gets out, this video, and he knows anything, my ass is toast. He's gonna lose his fucking mind on me. I'll hand that right over to you. I'll be like, no, deal with my agent.
Yeah. Don't even come to my house. Because we get to say that now. This is our house now.
You probably have a lot
Don't
of
bring
eggs.
that bullshit in. Okay. You have no one to be mad at but yourself.
All right, Cassie, love you. Yeah, no, it's...
You know, I don't understand people that they do shitty things and then you call them out and then you're the asshole.
That's called gaslighting and narcissism.
No, I understand what it is. I say
Yeah.
I don't understand people that do it. Like, why? Like, I don't get it.
It
Like,
gives them pleasure.
You're being called out on your shitty actions. How does that make me or you the asshole? You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Manipulative. It's a dopamine hit somehow, some way. It's a hit to the dopamine to...
dope on it.
I swear to God, it's to be able to get away with it. It's got to be some kind of like weird high that people... Because look at John. John's the same way. My brother's the exact same way. The exact same way. And it's like, I should... Right now, sitting here talking about this, I'm like, we should have never bought this motherfucking house from this guy because from day one, I should have known just based on the person he is, and how he treats people, it was going to go this way.
Yeah, there's always hope,
Yeah, it's all about control. That's right. It's all about control. 100% all about control. And I say that all the time. All the time. That's... I said today, as far as, like, my bio dad goes, he did what he always does, and he basically comes in, like I said earlier, and swings his dick around to get what he wants and get his own way. And that's pretty much what happened with my bio dad, which I'm gonna do a whole live about that because I know you guys have a yep, hindsight is 2020. I know you guys have a ton of questions about like my bio dad and stuff like that, so I'm gonna do a live another night about that. But yeah, questions, comments about any of this? We've talked quite a bit, so yeah. But yeah, hindsight is 2020. It's woulda, shoulda, coulda. I mean, I was pushing Lance after the second time, the second mortgage, when he was like, "I'm not putting the money into escrow," blah blah blah. I pushed to leave, to get the fuck out and to leave. And at the time, Lance wanted, and I understand this, I don't hold this against you whatsoever, but Lance wanted to stay because he had been working towards the promotion that he got.
That he
finally got for a long time. And he does have 2 other children here in the state. So he was very reluctant to leave.
Right.
And it's one of those things that it's, now we really wish that we did. I hope so too.
Thank you, April.
Yeah, I hope that meeting him will definitely bring me some sort of, I'm sure it'll bring me a lot of closure emotionally, mentally, everything. It'll be really good and really, I think, cathartic and healthy. I mean, him and I talk so much anyway, as is. But I just know come springtime, when the weather's warm, there's a chance that that'll be it with my mom. And that'll suck.
And that's the thing with your dad too. We're not going to get the dumpster preempted. We're going to tell him that you have X amount of time to get rid of this stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever is not out of here in said amount of time, we are getting rid of. We're sending it to the junkyard, to the dump, to the whatever. So you have XYZ. If it's important to you, come get it. If it's not, we're going to take it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get the backyard done. I can't wait. I can't wait for the kids to have a place to play.
Yep.
And a space to play and do stuff at. I am so excited to be able to walk out into that backyard and, have Maeve on me in her little Moby, a little baby wearing, and have her on me and have the kids be able to go play on the swings and play in a sandbox and get outside and have fun and run around. Because we can't do that right now. We have a concrete company behind us. We have water on our property and train tracks right behind that. And then we have marsh, and then we have a main road. So letting in...
You can't just go out and play.
No, bringing Finn outside... Yeah, Finn is an eloper. That's what he's categorized as, an eloper, which means he's a flight risk. Yeah. So he'll take off. So taking him into a backyard that's not fenced in while also having Rory and Maeve is not an option. And it's just going to be so great. It's going to be so great to finally be able to bring them out there and be like, nah, man. Like,
not have to go somewhere to do it.
Right.
To go to the town
pack them all up
and
and
just to be able to go out the back
fight
door
with people to leave, like, shut the gate, because nobody shuts the fucking gate at the playground.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miranda. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's just going to be really nice. It's going to be nice to have the property cleaned off, because this is actually a really nice piece of property. And
I get rid of all of the crap and, do the cutting down the trees and the trimming and the cutting of the high grass down the bottom where all this shit is. It will be.
This house has a shit ton of potential, of literal untapped potential, and it's very unfortunate that we're not going to get to utilize that right off the bat. I mean, that sucks, but I don't know. I guess I just keep trying to stay hopeful about it. Be like, no, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Some days it's easier than others. Some days it's much easier than others. So, but yeah, that's our horror story. And since we bought the house, we found out we had the toilet start leaking upstairs. So the toilet started leaking out of the and nobody uses the bathroom upstairs, through the top of the tank, to the point that I'm standing in my kitchen and I think that one of the kids got into the bathroom and the faucet's dripping, and I poke my head around the corner and I'm getting dripped on from the ceiling. So we ripped that down and see how big of a spot the leak actually was, which is fucking massive, by the way. We took down.
Have to finish preparing that ceiling.
Yeah, we took down what we thought was going to just initially be a closet, and we thought it would just be easy peasy, take down like the door, some paneling, and some framing, just to get into it, to find out that there was an added wall that was literally some Formica, like basically glued to some 2x4s.
Covering the brick of the chimney.
And covering the brick of the chimney, and the brickwork in the chimney it's fucking atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. And then they took all the extra stuff they didn't use and they just dumped it behind the wall.
Dumped it behind piles of bricks and mortar and
Yeah,
shit.
so.
It's pretty bad.
Yep, good things take time. That's right, Kimmery. It does take time. Oh, it's okay, Mills. But yeah, no, good things take time, and we will get there. There will come a point where we won't have to tape plastic over our windows anymore. There will come a point where we won't have to worry about splinters on the floor, and we can get rid of these godforsaken fucking tiles that I can't stand. We will get there. And it's gonna be a long road, but you know, I'm glad I'm doing it with you and not somebody else. I'd fucking murder somebody else. I would. It would be awful. I could not go through this kind of stress with anybody else. It would be absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I would never want to go through the stress of buying a home with anybody but you.
You know, this is not a normal situation.
I know.
This was like extra stressful.
I know. This was like stress with a sprinkle of stress. Stress with a sprinkle of distress. So, Mill says hi, Hubs number 2. Can you see the new kitchen? As soon as I'm done putting everything completely away, I am happy to show you the new kitchen. And I'm literally this close. I'm hoping to get it done tomorrow. It's almost done.
Couple of days.
So
we only got a few things left.
yeah, it should be done. I'm hoping by tomorrow. Because I want to be able to paint the dining room the rest of the way.
Plus,
before
we're
we
not
go
going
to
to show you now. It's just having to put dinner away, so it looks messy.
Yes, it does look very messy because dinner is still sitting up there in all its glory. Bill says, I ain't got bail money for you to do this with anyone else. Oh, good lord.
Can't wait till that day. What's going to come down to? Do we pay the mortgage or bail money out of jail?
Let me sit in jail, pay the mortgage, don't lose the house. I'll be alright. I'll run the prison yard by the end of the week.
You're an idiot.
I know I am. What's that say about you? You married me.
I already knew I would be. I have a brain injury, so I have an excuse.
Kiki can't wait to come visit when it's nice out. Oh, so she wants to come visit when we're at war with my dad. Sweet. That'd be a good time. Yeah, come on out and visit while we're fighting him. Hey, Dana. We got bail for you guys, no one else. Dana says hi to you too, honey.
Hello.
Kiki, I could take him.
Uh-oh. Beans giving Mills a hard time.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Mills, can I tell him what happened earlier?
Are you
Or
telling me? You're
yesterday?
telling everyone.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Can I tell the world what happened? Oh, yay! Dana's gonna come out soon.
I guess we better clean that bed off.
We do. We have to get their room clean. Okay, so after I got insanely drunk last night, I came home and checked my messages.
Okay.
And I have a picture from Mills, and it says, your niece. And there she is in all her glory, Lil Bean, in her birthday suit, in her crib. She took off everything, including her diaper.
And pooped.
Nope.
Oh.
She peed all in her crib, and we've determined, well, Mills determined it was to avoid nap time.
Sounds like Rory.
It does, doesn't it? Like,
Yep.
you want to put me to bed, you know what I'm going to do? Pee in it.
Yep.
But the picture I got is just like her just like standing there. I'm like, what is she doing? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I'll trade you. If you come take Rory. We'll take Bean. 100%. I'm more than happy to trade for a week. Joke's on her, I have 3 sets of spare bedding. Yup.
You're
Yep.
just upset because she matches energies with you.
She does match energies with me. It is
That's why you have such a hard
brutal.
time.
It
You
is
two are so
brutal.
much alike.
I know. I wish I could get away with running around just screaming though every time somebody gave me the wrong cup. Like,
I mean,
think about how
you
often
could, because if you do, I'm just leaving. I'll go outside and do something. I'll go vacuum the front lawn or some shit.
every time my food order is wrong, which is every time we order
So
food.
we don't order anymore. Nothing is ever right.
It's never right.
We didn't even order this morning. I went and picked up a sandwich
My
for you.
special
and
hangover sandwich.
still couldn't get the cheese, which I don't even understand. Like, they never make it with that cheese. Why all of a sudden did you just decide to throw some random flavored cheese on that? Like, what the frig?
I opened it and I was like, why is there clear cheese on my sandwich?
Oh, the white cheddar.
Yeah, it was awful. It tasted terrible, but
Unless when I
anyway.
said, when I said extra cheese, he thought I said cheddar cheese.
Because it says extra cheese
Oh,
on
it
the
does?
It did. It said extra cheese. I'm like, bro.
So then it must have been the girl making it then, if he typed it in right.
Yeah. So, no, it says extra cheddar. It says cheddar cheese and then it says extra cheese.
I tried.
You did. I know damn well you know how to order my food. Because it's the way you order your food too. So, alright, any questions, comments, complaints? You can list your complaint. Doesn't mean I'll acknowledge it or change. I'm really sad that the lady that called our house a shithole didn't come in here tonight. I was really hoping that she would come in and hear the story instead of just being a bee.
They don't do that.
I know, they just leave like crappy comments and then ditch. Y'all are fucking chatty.
The baby's making more noise than that.
I know. The baby has more to say than you guys in the chat. What's going on, y'all? We want to converse.
Alright, good talk.
What is my hair doing? Have I looked like this the entire time? My hair has been doing something crazy. Oh, just bring her over. Everybody wants to see her anyway. Nobody's here for us. They're here for the baby. Enjoying the banter about a sandwich. Oh God, no. Huh? Do you want to have treats? I'll eat my treat on camera. I don't care. You don't want to eat your treat on camera? Oh no, you're very beardy. Mills, what is she doing? Oh, she's acting like. Is she acting like a bee? Or no, she's acting like a pterodactyl. Is that what it is? I feel terrible because I keep looking down at my phone because I have a phone to like see the comments on. I keep looking up and down and up and down. Bean has seen too many lives featuring Diva Rory. Yeah, she has. Too many FaceTime calls listening to her. Oh God. She's picking up on my children's awful behavior. Children's child. Finn just is on the talkback kick. He wasn't bad at 3. That's why right now I'm like, what is this demon child? What is this spawn of Satan? They are banned from each other. Oh, come on. You know you love it when the kids are like, I want to see Bean. Switched at birth. Nah.
No.
Mills can't deny her kids if she wanted
Neither
to.
can you.
I know. My kids are like little carbon copies of me. Yeah, Moody, you too, big boy. Do you want to come out and say hi? What? I want him to. He wants to.
I'm leaving.
Are you really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't feel like having him all over me right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, you've got him all hyped up now. Call him.
I did. It's my fault. Come here, Moo. Good boy. I know the big bad kitty's on the couch. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna moo about it? Oh, you're gonna roll up. I can't with him. I thought. Oh, I thought there was one on the bottom shelf too. Look at this boy. Oh my God, he just fell over. He just collapsed onto the floor. What did you come up? Oh, okay. Don't maul the cat. Okay, bye. That was kind of him. Just comes in and oh, now you can see. Jesus, the whole fucking ring light's all fucked up. All right, he's left. Go to bed, Pierce. You hate us. Oh, yeah, no. Okay. So, get this. The kids passed out on the couch last night. Well, yeah, last night. And they each have a cat. Like, Darwin is all curled up next to Finn. Squizgar is all curled up next to Rory. And what the fuck does Perry do? He straight up ditches me. He ditches me and he goes and lays in the bedroom with Lance and the baby. And I'm just out here cold and fucking alone. Lance had a baby and a cat. Each kid had a cat. I had a fucking pillow. I should have just had Pierce out here with me. I should have just brought him out for that snuggle. Don't hit the camera with your cow tail. Look at him. Look at him. What are you knocking over?
Everything.
Oh.
Baby bottle, your coffee, patience.
He's a good boy. You're such a good dog. Ugh. Moo. Ugh, good Lord. Alright, guys, I know it says that we're scheduled till 11 o'clock, but I know he's so cute. I love him. Thank you. I know we're scheduled till 11 o'clock, but it's been a long day. The kids, Finn and Rory in particular, have had a rough couple of days.
Frig off, Randy.
Rory the other day was because she missed Galileo, and Finn today was, I don't know what was going on with Finn, but he was on a tear,
Go.
so. Hi, Vera. Have a good night, Miranda. So we're going to sign off, and I'm going to be scheduling a live over the next couple of weeks about Biodad, DNA, all that stuff, because I know a lot of you guys have a lot of questions about that. So thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you for, I'm going to try to go live tomorrow and do some cleaning. I'm going to try to go live and finish up the kitchen and everything. So that's ideally what I would like to do, is go live to do that. So hopefully I will be doing so. Yes. So yeah, my brain just had a complete seizure. So yeah, I will be on tomorrow, hopefully, to do some cleaning and hang out with you guys. And yeah, so until then, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to the story. I hope you guys got some takeaways from that, or some good takeaways from that at least. You know, what to do, what not to do, and what maybe to do a little bit better than we did. So, thank you, Miranda. You sleep well too. Love you too. Love all you guys. I hope y'all have a fabulous night. Mills, Dana, Kiki, I have to call and catch up with you guys over the next couple days. I miss you guys. We will talk really soon. So until next time, guys, take it easy. Have a good night. And enjoy your Thursday. God, almost till Friday. We'll get there. We'll get there.